Support groups for MOG antibody disease are a great way to connect with others who also suffer from the condition. However, there are quite a few support groups for MOG antibody disease out there, so which is the best one? In this video I'm going to be going through the support groups which are available for MOG AD to help you choose the ones which are best for you. I'm Scott from MyMyelitis and let's get started. So what is a MOG antibody disease support group? A support group is a collection of people who share similar interests or experiences. A MOG antibody disease support group will include people who have been diagnosed with or have experience of dealing with a condition, such as carers and healthcare professionals. MOG AD support groups give opportunity for members to share experiences about their diagnosis, treatment, feelings and other first-hand experiences. Healthcare providers treating patients with MOG AD may not be able to give the required emotional support to patients, but support groups can be used to help bridge this gap. Most of the support groups on MOG antibody disease are hosted on Facebook, so you will need to create a Facebook account before you can access them. So which is the best support group? And the answer to this is that there is no best support group for everyone. Each support group has its own strengths and weaknesses, and because of this, certain support groups may be beneficial to some people and not so much to others. Depending on who the person is and where they live, the best support group for them is likely to be very different compared to someone else with the same condition. Now you may be asking, how do I find the best support group for me? And we have the answers to that. On the MyMyelitis website we have a list of all available support groups for MOG antibody disease, and in this video I will be going through them to give you a brief overview of what support groups are available and which ones may be useful to you. I will leave a link to both the complete list of MOG antibody disease support groups and all support groups featured in this video in the description below. So let's head over to the MyMyelitis website. Okay, so this is the MyMyelitis MOG antibody disease supports group post, where I basically keep this updated with all the support groups which are available for the condition. And I guess before we start looking into the groups, I'll scroll down and read one important thing which I haven't mentioned yet, just in this paragraph here. So it's also important to note that these support groups are for ideas, support and advice, and they should not be used over qualified healthcare providers for treatment. And please talk to your medical provider before making any changes to your medication or treatment or recovery plans. So firstly, we're going to be starting off with the big support groups. And these are the biggest support groups which involve MOG antibody disease, and expect to find lots of different posts and resources on there. Now these groups are rather active and they can be a bit overwhelming at times, with some people talking about their experiences. You'll have others talking about research, and there's often a lot going on, and maybe you're only interested in a few of these topics which are being discussed. So these groups can be a bit overwhelming at times, and they also may not necessarily be the best place to look for specific recommendations, especially if you're outside the US. But I would still, if you are looking for a recommendation, post on there anyway, because with these groups are going to have the greatest chance of being able to give you a recommendation due to the amount of members which are on there. So the first of the big support groups is the MOG Antibody / Anti-MOG Support and Info group, which you can see here on your screen. And this is a Facebook support group for individuals, friends and family of those who suffer from MOG antibody disease, and also those who are awaiting MOG testing results. And currently the group has 1,800 members, which is quite big in comparison to lots of the other groups. And this is the biggest and most active group that there is available for MOG antibody disease at the moment. This group belongs to the MOG Project, who are a non-profit organisation which advocates for raising awareness about MOG antibody disease. This also includes the education of patients and caregivers, whilst also supporting research. So also expect announcements, surveys and other useful information. If you're looking for one group which covers most of the bases, then this is likely to be the one for you, and it's the one that I recommend. If you were just to join one, then this is probably the best group to join. So the second of the big MOG antibody disease support groups is this one, the NMO / MOG Our Fight for a Cure. Now what you'll find with some support groups is they often join a few different conditions together. So in this case, NMO and MOG is because they are believed to be related, and MOG is sometimes classified as NMO in some cases. So that's sometimes why you'll see a few different conditions in the title of the group. So this group is a Facebook support group created to post fundraisers and related activities to support finding a cure for NMOSD or MOG antibody disease. Now, many support groups do not allow fundraiser posts on their pages, and as far as I'm aware, this is the only group allowing campaigns for supporting initiatives for MOG antibody disease. Other topics outside of fundraisers are not allowed in this group, and the exception is being posts from foundations and non-profit organisations linked to NMO and MOG antibody disease. So if you are looking to raise funds for a cause related to MOG antibody disease, then this could be a good group for you. Likewise, if you're looking to support fundraisers relating to the condition, then I would recommend joining this one too. So the next set of support groups which I'm going to be talking about are what I like to call specific groups. So these groups are for specific groups of people who are involved in MOG antibody disease, and that's usually defined as what characteristics you have. And what you'll find with these support groups is that they often tailor the messages which are sent in them to be a bit more relevant to their target audience. So the first of these specific groups which I'm going to be talking about is the MOG or NMOSD support for young adults. And so this group is aimed at adults who are between the ages of 18 and 30. And this group has been quite useful specifically to me, because I fit within those age ranges, and a lot of the conversations and topics that we have on this group are quite relevant to me. For example, some of the topics which we've discussed in this group are whether you should be disclosing your disease when applying for jobs or colleges or universities, others including dating and managing relationships when you've got the condition. And there's also quite a few other topics which are just a bit more relevant to young adults. Now, this group also hosts Zoom calls Monday at 5:45 PM Eastern Standard Time, and these Zoom calls are really useful, and it's been a great help to me through my recovery journey. Now, with the Zoom calls happening at that time, it can be a bit problematic for people if they're based outside of the US to attend these Zoom calls. But if you are an adult between the ages of 18 and 35 years old who's been diagnosed with MOG antibody disease, then I definitely recommend joining this group. It's a really good community there, and definitely think some of the topics will be useful and relevant to you. So the next specific group that I'm going to be talking about is the women with NMO, MOG and TM. Now, this group could be classed as one of the bigger groups with 970 members, but since it caters just to women, I'll include it in the specific group section. And this group is a Facebook support group specifically for women with the conditions NMO, MOG or transverse myelitis. And this group was created so that women have a group to talk about topics related to women. Women may not feel comfortable sharing their issues in larger groups, and so this group may be more suitable for them to connect with other people. And now I can't give any more information about this group. I'm not a woman, and I don't believe they'd let me into the group even if I wanted to join it. But if you are a woman with MOG antibody disease looking to have conversations with others, this group will likely benefit you. And the last specific group which I'm going to be talking about is the Wings of Hope, the Little Hummingbird Nest. And now this group is all about bringing together the parents of children diagnosed with MOG antibody disease. And this group is a Zoom support group who host regular calls, usually once or twice a month. And you can see here, they do have a date down on May 25th at 7:30 PM Eastern Time in the US and Canada for their next call. And these meetings are hosted all on Zoom regularly, and you're free to participate or listen. And either way, you'll be sure to learn about how other parents are managing their child's diagnosis with the condition. So if you'd like to find out more about this group and how to join it, I'd visit the MOG Project's website, which I'll leave a link to in the description. So the next set of groups I'm going to be talking about are location groups. And these groups are based on the location of its members and can be useful to join to learn about events, recommendations for healthcare providers, and extra support from people who are in your area. So the first locational group that I'm going to be talking about is the UK MOGAD support group. And this is a group specifically for patients, carers and interested parties within the UK. This group was created as a partnership between MyMyelitis, the MOG Project and the MOG blog to offer support to those within the UK. Topics discussed in this group will be specific to the UK, and this will include treatment, diagnosis and care, and will also include how the NHS and other healthcare providers in the country are recognising and treating the condition. To join this group, you must be a resident of the UK and be an individual, friend or family member of someone who is diagnosed, involved with or has an interest with the disease. So if you're living in the UK, I'd consider joining this group to find others who are also being treated for it in the UK. Yeah, I know it's quite small at the moment with 37 members, but this group is growing really fast. So the next locational group is a Southeast Asian NMO, MOG and TM community. And this is a Facebook support group specifically for those from Southeast Asian countries such as Bangladesh, Bhutan, India, Myanmar, Nepal, Pakistan and Sri Lanka. And this group is still relatively new and its member count is still growing. So if you are living or from a Southeast Asian country, then maybe this group would be a good fit for you. Another locational group for those who are over in the States in North California is the NMO MOG NorCal Support Group. So this group does have 63 members, and I believe in-person meetups are also organised by this group. So hopefully when the whole pandemic has died down, there may be opportunities to have in-person meetings. So if you happen to reside in California, or more specifically Northern California, then this support group may be helpful to you, especially if you're looking for potential healthcare providers in the area. So that's it for all the support groups which are currently available for MOG antibody disease. What I'd recommend you do is go to the MyMyelitis website and take a look at the list, where each of the groups has a better description than what I can provide here, as I don't want the video to go on for too long. So head over there if you want to find out more information about any of the groups featured in this video. So in summary, there is no best support group for everyone. Depending on who you are, some groups may be more useful to you than what they are to others. My advice is to pick out the ones from the list that seem interesting to you, join them and see which ones you like the best. Thanks for watching the video, and if you enjoyed it, please be sure to give it a like, drop a comment in the section below and subscribe. We would really appreciate it. We also have a monthly mailing list where we keep you guys updated with all the happenings here at MyMyelitis. Sign up and receive a free recovery tracker to help manage your condition. Thanks again, and I'll catch you soon in the next video.